Hey, guys, before we get into this amazing episode of World War Fun, we got to tell you, on June 21st at Soul Joel's in Pottstown, Ryan Shaner and myself will be co-headlining, and we want you guys to all come out and make it one of the most best nights of all of our collective lives.
Make it the most best night. Let's make it the most best. At Soul Joel's in Sunnybrook, June 21st at 7:30?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Make it the most best. Make the most best of that night. Please come see us. We're going to have a banger time, and it'll be better than most best times you've ever had anywhere else at any point in time. Come on down to Soul Joel's at Sunnybrook, 7:30, June 21st. Be there or be spared. But to take the limit, if someone was like, yo, we'll have a pill that would increase your brain activity to like almost 100%, and you think in 5 steps ahead of everyone, I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude. I would do that for as long as I possibly could. Just to have it. I'm tired of being retarded. I'm 40 years old.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
I think I get that's what happens. Like I turned 40 and I'm like, man, I'm still retarded.
Yeah, but you're good at it now.
I wouldn't even say that's a stretch.
Well,
that's a wild stretch.
You'd be surprised. You won't know how good you are at being retarded until you're smarter, and then you'll be like, oh shit, I suck at this. This is all new to me. I'm way better at being retarded.
I don't know, man. I think it'd be a lot of times, like, if I'm pretty sure if I took the limitless pill, I'm like, man, you really were retarded. Let me just fix this. All you needed to do was write this down in a calendar. Turns out all you needed to do was write it down. Like, I'd be like, I get the limitless pill, and like, I would just change one thing. It's like, if you just unplugged that one thing, you wouldn't hear that hum all day. I'm like, God damn.
I'm telling you, I was smart one day, and it was the worst.
When the fuck did that happen?
It was like 2 years ago.
You were smart for one day?
I was smart one day. I was smart one day. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of, because like right now, I'm kind of retarded, right?
Yeah.
And
some would call autistic.
Right. And so when things when I don't quite understand things, I go, I don't get that. And I'm okay with that.
And you just walk away from it.
Dude, I was smart one day, and I would like approach things that were like
Talking about like you were high for an hour. I was so smart one day. It was so smart.
Well, it was almost the opposite. It was like I had been high for like a long, like a stretch,
Sure.
And then I cleared up, and I was like smart one day, and it was like I thought I
just wasn't so stoned one day.
Yeah, I thought I could figure everything out.
Yeah, that's got to be an amazing feeling.
Yeah,
but gotta be amazing.
Like, it's just nonstop. It's so much work. It's like there's always something to figure out. Like every time you figure out something, you move to the next level of it, and it's slightly more complicated. Yep. Now you got to keep figuring things out, dude. It never ends. Like it's limitless how much you have to keep figuring out. Like you never figure it all out.
You're like, you know what? I was so high that it was fine, and then I got a little bit sobered up, and then I saw life was complicated, and I was like, I'd rather be crushed.
I'd rather be slightly retarded.
Yeah, dude.
It's way better.
In a way, I can empathize with that. But again, imagine someone who doesn't smoke.
Yeah. And
then you're like, why am I so retarded?
Yeah, but limits are good though.
I don't know.
Because you're like, that's beyond me. That is one of the most comfortable feelings in the world.
Sure,
to realize that something is.
There's
beyond
a bunch
you.
of stuff that is beyond me, but I think what I think is if I took the limitless pill, I'd be able to focus on the things that I really enjoy and make them better. Not so much. I'm not like trying to solve a fucking world issue or some shit.
Yeah, because you're not capable of that right now.
Yeah, I'm not. But
that's why you're not trying to do that.
But I'm never going to be capable. I'm never going to. You think I'm capable of going to Gaza right now and be like, yo, I've got all the answers. I took a limitless pill.
But you probably won't be capable of it. But you might be like, I could probably start understanding this Israel-Palestine.
Actually, I'd be so smart.
If I looked into it.
I'd be like, I'm going to let you two dogs fight. I think my understanding is like, yeah, you guys will figure it out.
Yeah.
You guys will really figure it out.
Dude, I couldn't even be able to start quantifying or qualifying how beneficial the phrase, I guess that's not for me, has been to my life.
There are things that I know are not for me. Yeah. Like, I know they're not for me. Drag brunch, I know that. And I don't need a limitless pill to know that. I'm never going to be into drag brunch. I know that's not for me. Most musical theater, not for me.
Oh, that's exactly what the problem is. You'll start taking this limitless pill.
I don't think
maybe I can start understanding the nuance of musical theater.
I don't think that's
You know, Ryan Shader now has a collection of playbills from all the musical
Turns
theater
out he
that
took a
he's
limitless pill and he's gay now. Like, just watch out. He might be gay.
He has a scrapbook of playbills.
No, I don't think. I don't think I would. I don't think that's what it would. I think if I took the limitless pill, I'd be like, oh, I can figure out a way. Because my whole thing is, I keep thinking about like, yo, how can I get free energy? Like, how can I build a Tesla coil in my house or something? And I'm like, I know what that is. It's kind of like the worst part is having an IQ of 125.
Yeah.
Is the worst because all it does is let you know a bunch of stuff, but not have any way to like do it or achieve it.
Yeah.
You're just smart enough to know how little you are capable of. And you live in this, like, you have to throw your hands up a lot. I think that's one thing I have gotten better is like, yeah, I just don't care anymore. Like, why waste my time getting bummed out about this because I'm too stupid to understand it? And it's just like.
Perfect place to be.
But.
Perfect place to be.
Also then, I'm like, yo, I should focus. Like, when it comes to things I want to focus on, then I'm like, you know, it would be sick. A limitless pill right now. So I can make like some magnetic energy strip in my house and just get free power.
Dude,
and never
I
have
don't
to
think
deal
I
with
could handle it. I think I would be one of those people that is like, oh my God, I'm almost there. Like for the rest of my life, I will die on my deathbed. I'll be like, I almost got it. And then like somebody like that's like my invention for free energy is right there. And you open it up, it's just an empty shoebox.
Yeah, I was almost there.
I was almost there. I almost had it.
Connecting to like it would be great to like. It would be great to like take a limitless pill and then I would solve one world mystery. That's all I would do. I think that's
what would be your go-to.
I would either find Bigfoot, come on.
Now we're talking.
You know what I'm talking about.
Now we're talking.
Imagine taking a limitless pill and you're like, I know exactly how to just to debunk completely.
Yeah.
Just be like, yo guys, I know we want to have mystery in the world. I know we want to, like, you know, live in a place where there's still some form of, like, you know, ooh, what could be, what has been. But then just be like, yo, I actually found Bigfoot. It just turns out it's a homeless guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, it's just it's a collection of homeless men in the woods that are just screaming at the top of their lungs at nighttime.
Dude, I would just be real slick about it. But like, go to these coordinates and thank me later.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah.
That would be, like, just... That or
these aren't even real longitudes and latitudes. What the hell did he just slide us?
It's just that's the whole thing. You take the limitless pill and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
He sent me a Post-it note that says "You plus me forever." Yeah,
figure it out.
Thank me later.
You're gonna enjoy that in a couple of years. Right now, it's got a little over your head. Or I'd love to figure out exactly how the pyramids were built. Exactly like the functionality of the pyramids. Only because it's just like they don't make a lot of sense, and there are so many things with it that are like they just don't add up. And just figuring out that would be a fun. That would make me feel better. That would just make me feel like, oh, there's a point to this, or a point, or we don't have to, like, once I figure it out, I'm like, now we can stop this weird gay debate about this or that or this or that.
Okay, I'll be thinking about this for the rest of my life if I don't ask you. Where do you stand on the pyramids right now?
Where do I stand on the pyramids?
Yeah.
Slightly to the left. Riddle.
Yeah. See how gay that was?
That was super gay.
See how gay that was? That's why the Riddler is the gayest.
Where do I stand on the pyramids? Here's what I think. honestly.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the pyramids, the main three at the Giza Plateau, the main three pyramids were not built by the Egyptians. They were occupied by the Egyptians. The pyramids, the pyramids that we see, the step pyramids that are, or not the step pyramids, the lopsided pyramids that were built by Djoser and stuff like that, those pyramids were them trying to attempt to build the main three pyramids. They got there, they occupied that space. Now, what I will say, when it comes down to the occupied space of the pyramids, the Great Pyramids, there are monuments around them that were built by different dynasties of Egypt. And they used whatever was left over technology that was there. Where that technology has gone, I do not know.
Okay.
What I will say is the main three pyramids on the Giza Plateau were not built by the Egyptians. The Egyptians came across them, and they were there, and then they occupied that territory.
Yeah. So what would you say is the purpose of the pyramids?
So that's where everything comes into it.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Now, I've watched a bunch of fucking shit about them, and the more that you watch, the more you're like, one person will be so off the deep end with like laser beams and shit, and you're like, I don't really know if that's a thing. However, the one thing I do know is that they definitely aren't tombs. They're definitely not tombs. They're
Correct.
not tombs for any pharaoh whatsoever. And to believe that is crazy, because if you look at where the tombs are, there's tons of relief carvings. There's tons of fucking imagery. There's tons of hieroglyphs. There's nothing like that
so
inside.
you think Zahi Hawass is a crazy man?
Without a doubt.
Okay.
Without a doubt. To believe that they are anything other than borderline facilities or like a factory,
Yeah,
is crazy. I do think also
because Zahi Hawass would say you're crazy.
I know, and that's fine.
He would say there's no evidence to say what you're saying right now.
Without a doubt, there is. There is evidence to say. If you look at the way that the pyramids are constructed, and if you also look at the way that the inside of them are used, with the way the chambers are sloped, the way the things that are built in there, and the fact that we're discovering more underneath them at this time, which also leads me to believe that they have been there longer than we can even imagine, which leads me to believe that the Egyptian people did not build them. They were occupied by them. The other thing that I do find crazy, I watched this the other day, it was actually pretty amazing. The fact that there was water and aqueducts underneath the Great Pyramid. And the way that the water, the way that the chambers are set up lead people to believe that what they were doing was using the pyramids as a hydroelectric like a hydroelectric dam or power plant.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I will say before I start getting nerding out too hard, do you know what the schist disc is?
I think so.
It's a round piece of schist stone that was carved. Like, they don't understand how they carved it because it's so frail and brittle. But it looks like a wheel with a hole through it. And they don't understand. For the longest time, they thought it was like a fucking ceremonial thing. And they thought it was some sort of thing that had to do with mummification or some sort of thing that the pharaohs were using as like a decorative piece. But then everyone's like, it doesn't add up anywhere else. We haven't found another one. And it doesn't add in or tie in with any type of ceremonial thing. So someone recreated it, 3D printed it. And then what they did is they took it and they put it on like a small turbine in a huge vat of water. And what it did was raise the water up and make it go through channels. And I think that the pyramids itself were used as hydroelectric power plants, and they used a schist stick to raise water up from the groundwater and then make that, like, you know, be used in Egypt. That's what I think. That's where I stand. I think the pyramids are older than we know. I think they outdate most things on the planet. And I also think, too, that the planet is older than we can conceive. I think the planet is older than we fucking know.
Like 70, 80 years old?
I probably, it's definitely remembers the civil rights movement. It definitely remembers that. I just think that, I think the planet is older than we know, and the pyramids have been there longer than we can perceive.
All right.
That's where I stand. I think there's a whole, and that's the whole thing. There's a whole lot of like, that's it. Because there's no other real fucking answers there.
You sound like you've been properly educated on the pyramids.
I've watched The Mummy several times.
Yeah.
Several times.
But this is a good place to be, right?
What do you mean?
Like, level of intelligence wise, everything you just said about the pyramids is a good place to be. Sure. Because I'm smart enough to believe it, but not smart enough to debunk it.
Exactly, but that's where my thing is.
Do you want to be smarter than this? You want to be able to debunk everything you just said? Everything that you just said is so fun and whimsical. Why would you want to debunk that?
That's the whole thing, is because the debunking thing is to take other people who are like, remember how you just said that one guy would say are crazy?
Yeah.
To take that and be like, you're retarded. I may be crazy, but you're retarded.
I can do that now.
Yeah, you can.
It's easier to do that now.
I guess you can say that, but then I would never go out of my way to be like, yo, this guy's retarded, because honestly, I might be retarded. Everything I said might be complete bullshit.
But here's the beauty of being the level of intelligence that I am. I'm not smart enough to find flaws in my own logic. I'm right all the time.
No, dude, see, I can't go for that.
I'm the rightest person I know.
And I appreciate that you are steadfast in your bullshit. Like, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. That's the whole thing, is I can't be like, yo, I'm fucking right. There are things I think I know. Like, dude, you could give me, and that's the whole thing, is I'm also open to, like, if someone came to me like, yo, I have definitive proof that it's this. Yeah. I wouldn't be like, fuck you, you're wrong. I'd be like, wow, I never thought of it that way.
And I'm never gonna.
And you're dumb.
Sorry, my guy.
No, dude. I gotta be proven right or wrong.
As far as I'm concerned, that was too many solutions.
You don't know what you're talking about. But I would love to go. I think that's when it comes down to like time travel or anything. People are like, where would you go? I'm like, I don't know if there's any place I would go other than just to watch the construction of the pyramids one time.
Okay.
And that's all. And it's like, what else am I going to do? I just really like, yo, I need to know. I don't care how the dinosaurs died. I don't care about watching, going back in time and trying to kill baby Hitler. Just know, can't do that. But I would watch how the pyramids were constructed.
So, because here's another thing. So people that are smarter than me, when they approach or when they encounter people that believe in the flat earth, they get riled up.
Sure.
Right? And I don't believe that the earth is flat. But I'm not smart enough for somebody who does believe the earth is flat to upset me.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
as a matter of fact, I enjoy it. I think it's a fun theory.
It is. It's an amazing thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
But that's
because we're dumb. Shane, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, dude. You would not be able to enjoy this.
No, but that's
if you were any smarter.
Here's the thing, though. Part of me wishes I was either smart enough to really definitively believe that, or dumb enough to really definitively believe that.
Dude, I think we're in the Goldilocks zone, man.
The passion these idiots have is like, it's a marvel to behold. I wish I believed in anything that much. Could you imagine believing something? Imagine believing something.
I don't know if
nail.
My brain is capable of imagining 100% belief in anything.
Could you imagine waking up and be like, I don't know much, but I do know that the world is flat, and everybody who says otherwise is like, they're just. I'm waiting for this to be like, this is going to come to light. Everyone's going to be like, you know what? You were crazy your whole life, Sidney. You were out of control. And then like that one, like, oh, I was right.
Dog,
I was fucking right.
Listen, I can promise you we're sitting in the perfect pocket. I think you're getting a little bit of the grass is greener on the other side complex, because if you go any direction from, I feel like the level of intelligence that we both have, if you go smarter or you go dumber, we're going into dangerous territory.
But that, you know what? The whole thing is, I would want to experience that dangerous territory at least one point in time.
I'd go dumber.
What's that?
I'd go dumber.
You go dumber?
I'd rather experience dumber than smarter.
No,
like you said, for a day, right?
For a day.
If I could experience the dangerous territory of either smarter or dumber, I'm going dumber.
No, I'd rather go smarter. I'd much rather see, not. I wouldn't call it like more potential in myself, but I'd rather see, things in a different viewpoint from a different thing I aspired to be. I've never aspired to be dumber. You know what I mean? I've never been like, what would make my life easier? Being so retarded that I guess in a way it would, but I don't think that way. I think it would make my life harder because I'm only good enough right now to be like, I'm riding this wave. I think my relationships would struggle if I was dumber. I think my finances would struggle if I was dumber.
That could be. That's true. That's
Straight
probably
up.
true.
I think I would be.
I don't know about the relationships thing for sure.
I think it
but
would.
The finances thing
for
sure.
I think it would struggle. I think I'd have a lot more struggle.
Or maybe not. So here's the deal. Here's what I think. Here's the way I think about it. I think if you're moving towards smarter, life starts to become more gray. Like the color saturation of the world around you starts to become more dull. It doesn't turn into like black and white, but it turns into that like sepia tone filter. Sure,
yeah.
And it's like kind of like, you start to realize that the world is kind of on fire. But if you go dumber, so you remember in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, towards the end where they knock down the wall and you can see Toonville?
Yeah.
That's dumber.
So
that's where I want to be. I want to go to Toonville.
And I can appreciate that. But part of me is like, that's childish, and I don't want it. I don't want it. I would want that. I would want that if I was in my late teens, early 20s.
I feel like if I was in my late teens, early 20s, I would want the other way. I was so curious about what is it like to be a smart adult.
No, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I was like, you know what? I'm having a good time. But now I'm like watching the world turn and twist into this other thing where Toontown is being thrown out like this is the way to go. And everyone should go to Toontown. And I don't want to go to Toontown. I want to go to where I want to go into a different netherworld of Bill Nye the Science Guy, where like I can have fun, but I can also learn all the angles. If you're going to Toontown, you're going to be surrounded by a bunch of people that'll probably be annoyed. Don't get me wrong. There's tons of fucking annoying assholes in Bill Nye the Science world. Definitely.
Yeah.
But at least I'll be able to sort out what I want from that and then focus on the thing I want. As where you're in Toontown, everyone's retarded. You're in a fucking amalgamated slop of fucking retardation.
It's funny to think of because like if we're going to get this one day to experience one end of the spectrum or the other, it's either way. You get it's the same thing that causes you to go like you have to get hit in the head real hard.
Straight up. Dude, I would love that. Are you kidding me?
And so really it comes down to whether you want to, as you're coming to, have equations circling around outside of your head or have like Tweety birds.
Birds and donuts right now. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I would love, the one.
Yo, bird me up.
Dude, I know you want the bird.
I want the bird.
Dude,
give me the bird.
You know what I want? I remember as a kid, because like I guess it's because I've been dumb my whole life or like just smart enough my whole life where you're like, that would be awesome, but I have no idea how to get there. That's the thing is like with intelligence, you can see the other side of the fence. You're like, wow, look at all that wild knowledge over there. Look at all that wild information. And you're like, how the fuck do I get over this fence? And then you realize that there was a door the whole time, but you've been trying to climb up and it's like, why didn't you just use the door, you fucking idiot? It was right there. But what I'm looking for is that one thing where like, hey, did you ever turn this way? And you can go through this door and like you can come in and out of it and realize things you've never realized. Like that fucking movie. Did you ever see that movie Phenomenon with fucking John Travolta?
No, I don't think so.
It's not great. But the fucking thing that happened. So John Travolta, he's a podunk dickhead, lives in a small town in the middle of fucking nowhere. On his 35th or 36th birthday, like he goes out and a beam of light from the sky hits him, knocks him over, knocks him out.
Yeah.
The next day he wakes up, his intelligence, his IQ has gone from, I guess, like 90 or 100 to like 200 something.
Okay.
And he's able to like figure out all the shit. He can read every book he touches. He reads like 6 books a day. He learns languages like over fucking night. He can move shit with his mind. He can feel earthquakes before that. It's a crazy fucking thing. And I remember being a kid like, yo, that would be the coolest fucking thing in the world. Just to wake up one day and you're like, yo, you're smart enough to understand how molecules in a pen work to move it around. That's fucking wild. Give me that intelligence. Give me that.
Oh, I think I will say this. I think for either one of us, for either direction, I think it's safe to say that you should be careful what you wish for.
I know. But this is the whole thing. I know I should be careful what I wish for. I understand. I've seen enough movies to know. And I'm basing everything on my life on movies I've seen.
Well, I mean, that's because...
Because
that's where we are. That's the pocket we're in.
The level of intelligence.
Think about how fun this is, man. You want to give this up? You want to start basing everything on your life on books?
No, fuck books, dude.
No, you just said you want to read
No, I don't want to read books. I want to write the greatest movies ever. I don't want books. You think I'm going to read books? No, I'm going to go and experience things. I want to be so smart I don't even need the books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Be basing your life off of like the complex emotional nuance of an opera.
No, dude. I'm gonna go and live my life on the emotional and complex nuances of Jurassic Park, and be like, you know what? I understand where John Hammond failed. I can succeed.
Who do you think enjoys life more, dumb people or smart people?
Without a doubt, it is, dude. It is dumb person with money or smart person with money.
Dumb person with money.
Smart person with money.
You think smart person with money is enjoying life more?
Yeah, I think so. Because they have an opportunity to get more. They have an opportunity to not be so frivolous with their funds that'll deplete it completely. And I think they know places to go. Like a dumb person with money will spend all of their money at the Magic Kingdom. But that's the whole thing.
It's a kingdom full of magic.
What I'm saying, no, it's retarded. I guess it's also. I grew up never being like, yo, that doesn't appeal to me. I don't know if I became dumber, would I be into Disney now? Would I be into like going to like retarded theme parks, or would I still be myself but just dumber?
I think Disney is smart people with money.
You think Disney is smart people with money?
Yeah.
Standing in line for hours on end is smart?
I did.
Get out of here.
I recently did dumb people with. Well, I guess I did. I guess we kind of did like if you average out the intelligence between my wife and me, we would be average intelligence with kind of money.
Sure.
Like we don't have money.
I get it. I know.
But we don't have no money.
I get it. But see, now you're not in the Goldilocks zone with that. You're in the. We kind of have money, but we don't have money. We don't. Would you rather be smart enough to kind of have money, but then see a way to get more of it to secure yourself financially, and then also have a place where you could be like, now I can just do some stupid stuff because I understand financially where I'm at.
So if we had more money, our money would have to start being smart. Sure. Like our money would have to start making money for itself, right? But like at the level we're at, we're like, our money doesn't know how to do that.
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing. I'm tired of having retarded money. I'm tired of having retard money, dude.
Make no mistake. I listen, for the two of us, I want us to not have retarded money.
Yeah, dude. I'd rather have money that I wouldn't be like, that money needs riddling. I don't want my money. I don't want to round my money up and be like, you know what? You need to be medicated, money.
Yeah.
You look retarded.
My money keeps getting notes sent home from school about behavior
problems. My money has been suspended so many times.
Yeah, they're telling me that my money might not be able to graduate this year because it has some things that
I don't want. You know what? I don't want my money to be like, I'm going to get my GED. I don't want my money telling me that it doesn't matter. I want my money being like, you know what? And I also don't want my money being like, you know what? I'm going to sink it into this 4 years of fucking goddamn college. What I want my money to do is be like, you know what? I've actually seen a trend in welding right now. I'd be like, oh man,
you want that trade money.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like my money decided to work right out of high school.
Straight up.
Learned a trade, apprenticed under some dude with a pill problem.
You know what I want my money to be? Like, I want my money to come back and be like, yeah, I was actually on a deep sea oil rig for about 5 months, and now I'm going to retire at 40. I'd be like, damn, money.
All right.
You figured it out.
That's street smart money.
That's crazy money.
You want street smart money.
Not just street smart money, but street smart where it's like, dude, I want Wesley Snipes from New Jack City money. Like, he's street smart, but also smart enough to know that, like, even look beyond the streets. Like, he understands all the angles. He's not just like some hood thug who came from the streets. He fucking saw the angles and became this like fucking drug lord crime syndicate boss. And like all the other people around him, they're street smart, but they're retarded too.
Yeah,
you know.
Maybe I'm stuck between like I'm comfortable where my money is or I'm comfortable where my intelligence is. But it just seems like you start making more money, and then it costs you more money to have that money.
You gotta spend money to make money sometimes.
You gotta spend
See,
money.
The whole thing is, you know what I want?
That confuses me.
I wouldn't be smart enough to know what that means. I was just gonna say, dude, I want to be smart enough
to make money.
I want to be smart enough where when someone says that, I'm like,
dude, I have a degree in economics from a private college, and if the last question on the last final, or if the only final to get my degree was, you have to spend money to make money, true or false, I would not have this degree.
That's
like, especially if it was like true or false, explain.
No, dude, show your work. That's another thing. I want to be so smart where I'm confident enough to show my work. You know what? That would be fucking sick. Just one time, someone's like, "Oh, I saw what you did. Explain how you did that." I'm like,
"Yeah." Well, I can promise you one thing: you do not want to see my work.
Dude, it's insane how like I guess I want to be smart enough where I know the mechanics of how to get things done instead of just like somehow rolling the dice and being like, that might work out. Yeah, that's where it's at. I think I'm
okay. So
the thrill of the gamble is kind of gone.
All right, so let's get personal here, right? I'm gonna give you a little anecdote about why I think that the Goldilocks zone of not that smart, not that much money is kind of perfect.
Sure,
right? So, you know, I told you about my recent trip to Florida.
Yeah.
Like not too long ago. My wife was competing at Pans in Florida. And we took the whole entire family down.
Yeah.
And we decided to kind of, since we were all going now for like 4 or 5 days, we're going to kind of make a vacation out of it. Now, this was out of nowhere. And in order for us to have a vacation that is that far away from our home base, we have to save up money. Right?
Straight up.
But this kind of came out of nowhere, so we didn't have enough time to save up money to make it tourism.
Sure.
Which, you know, we talked about before. But we did have enough money for porism.
Sure.
Which, in my opinion, having experienced porism on multiple occasions with the family, objectively more fun.
I could only imagine. But here's the thing. I guess I've never been a touristy guy to begin with. Mm-hmm. I've never been like I have to go to these things that everybody is going to. Like the level of tourism that attract. I guess it's more like I'm like an intelligent poser, and that's what I guess pisses me off. It's like there are things I want to do. Like I would love to like. I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. Mm-hmm. And I know that sounds so cliche where people are like, every kid wants to be an astronaut. I'm like, no, I wanted to travel to a different thing. I wanted to figure out how life is going to work on a different...
Those things are planets or solar systems.
Yeah, exactly. What do you want to do as an actor? I want to go to things.
I want to go to a different thing, man.
Different things. Send me up in that rocket. I don't even know what's going on.
I'll go to a thing. They're going to a thing. I'll go to a thing.
Are there like living things? I don't know. Yeah, I wanted to go to different planets. I wanted to figure out if there was going to be life on Mars and how the origins and all the answers. I think that's what I wanted. I wanted definitive answers, but I was too stupid to do them. And I knew that I was, and that's what pissed me off. I was like, I want to do these things, but I don't even know how to do them.
So
now I'm just going to be a dreamer? Fuck.
We're going to go backwards on this Florida trip because we're starting. You gave me a great starting point. We're going backwards.
Okay.
Right? So the last thing that we did, there's an app you can get that tells you when all of the space launches are going to happen.
Yeah.
And since we were going to be down in that area, that Cape Canaveral area, we got this app and we were going to watch a space launch. And so our last hotel was in that Cape Canaveral at maybe 12 miles from Cape Canaveral. And we're talking to the people about, because we were going to drive our car all the way to the base to watch a launch.
Yeah.
And we're talking to a person at a restaurant and she was like, if you have a hotel that has beach, just go out onto the beach and watch from there. There's going to be so much traffic. You might get stuck in traffic in a way that you might not even be able to see the launch.
Bummer.
Not worth it. So we watched it from the beach.
Sick.
Right? Beautiful. It was a beautiful
I bet that sounds amazing.
So, and this is why it's great to be done. So we're on the beach. We're watching down in the direction. And we've never seen a space launch. And most of the people that are on this beach had never seen a space launch either. This is all tourism/porism.
Yeah,
Everybody's at a hotel, and everybody, we see something in the sky off in the distance. We're like, is that it? Is that the launch? Like, there's something like kind of shimmering, and everybody's like on the beach is like, oh my god, that's so cool. That's awesome.
You were just staring at a plane,
dude. I still to this day don't know what we were staring at, because then all of a sudden you hear this, and we're like, oh my god. It's making a sound, and then you see the rocket coming up. You're like, oh, wow, now that's majestic, right? But
hey, you doubled your pleasure, dude.
We doubled our pleasure.
Did.
We had 2 launches technically. Like, we still experienced.
You had 2 launches.
But
we got
whimsy,
2 of them, dude.
The whimsy that we felt inside shared
and
with all the other beachgoers was a beautiful thing. And there was one person. There was one person. Well, not one person. It was there was this guy off in the distance. Him and his wife, just wearing his shades. And when most of the people on the beach were like, is that it?
Sure.
Is that it? He was looking at his wife like, that's not it.
And you were probably like, what the fuck?
No, I didn't know. I'm just like, I saw him, and it was like, all right, whatever. He's having a different experience than we all are having,
Join the fun.
Look how wide our eyes are.
Yeah, sure.
Look how furrowed his brow is.
Yeah.
Right?
I get that.
And then when it finally did launch, and then we were all just like, whoa.
Yeah, I can only
we would have been perfectly fine with whatever that speck in the sky was.
Literally just swamp gas.
We were loving swamp gas.
This is pretty great.
Swamp gas was beautiful.
Dude, I honestly thought you were going to say you're staring at this and everyone, you're like, amazing. And then you hear then you turn around and then the rocket's behind you. I thought that's where that was going.
It was almost that.
Damn.
It was like, I think the speck that we were seeing was like the sun coming through the clouds in a way, but like in any other time you would have never confused that with a rocket. But because we were looking for a rocket,
you know what? That's the mind seeing what it wants.
And we're like, wait, rockets do hover for a while before they leave the atmosphere, right? Because that's what this is doing, and I love seeing this.
This is amazing new rockets. I love this.
And then so now we're watching the rocket, and it's like it's going up.
It's got that yaw.
And then all of a sudden, like, because it has boosters, so it does the first rocket. So it launched, and then we see it going in the air, and then this wave of sound hits us, and we're like, "Holy shit!" Or actually, so the first wave of sound hit us, and then we're like, "What was that?" Because it's like concussive; you can feel it in your chest, and like, what is that? So now we're instead of us looking up like we all start looking down because the wave is kind of like coming at us from that direction. That's when we all saw the actual rocket being launched. So now we're watching it for a little while, and then, I'll say halfway up the sky. Right? I don't know how to describe
halfway
this.
up the sky.
About halfway up the sky.
I get it.
you can see more flashes like on the booster part.
Yeah.
And we're like, what's happening? Of course, all of us dumb people thought for sure the rocket was about to explode.
I get it. I get it.
Right? We're on the edge of our seats.
We're like, we're going to witness a disaster.
A disaster, right? And, smart guy over there, he's not feeling that. He knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Right? But we're like, oh my God, this is great. Like our heart's pumping, the adrenaline is flying. And then, it goes back to a steady stream out of the rocket booster. And maybe a minute later, another wave of sound hit us. And that's when we were like putting it together, like the beautiful mind equations going on in our heads. And it's like, oh, that's because the speed of light is faster than the speed of sound. And the secondary booster sound is just now getting to us.
Yeah.
So what we saw when it was flashing, those are the secondary boost. And we got to put all that together and feel like we accomplished the puzzle.
I mean, that's amazing that you grew to that.
It was
great.
Beautiful.
But I'm also, you have to take into consideration, maybe that guy in the glasses, maybe he already knew all that shit.
Yeah, but he didn't have as much fun.
Well, that's on him.
He had more fun.
That's on him. If I knew all that shit, I'd still be having fun being hit with a sound wave. That's sick.
Getting hit with a sound wave was pretty sick. It was how do we describe it? Because it didn't feel like a sonic boom.
No,
it was like a sonic hug.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But again, like oh my God, is everything going to go wrong? To everything is all right. Like that up and down excitement, that roller coaster of emotion.
I get it, and that's again. I'm not knocking your experience. It sounds amazing.
It's beautiful.
I bet it was
it's
fucking
a beautiful
great.
experience.
I'm glad the collective of you retards on the beach just watched.
We watched the machine go into the house.
Wow, it goes up. It's amazing. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't understand how space works.
What do you mean you don't understand how space works?
Once you're in space, is there an up? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Because I've asked this question myself.
It's crazy.
There is no up. So space is multi-directional. There is no. So like I know what you're thinking because you're looking at space in the way of every chart you've ever seen of like the sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth. Like you think space goes in like a line, kind of.
Well,
right. Because when people think of the distance to the moon, we're thinking like. Here's Earth, then there's the moon, and then there's the asteroid belt, and then there's Mars. Really, the way that works is because of gravity being pulled by our sun keeps us all on a trek, but like everything kind of goes up and down like that. And then you have to look at the other thing, which is when you think about the universe, the multi-layered universe.
Yeah.
That we're only on this idea of gravity from the sun and our solar system and the Milky Way, and then the next one you have, like, the next galaxy over, I think is Andromeda, or the Betelgeuse or something.
Andromeda.
Yeah, or, whatever Transformers out there.
Yeah.
But there is also an idea that, like, say our universe is going, like, this way. There could be another layer on top.
Yeah, but I don't think because that's the way I think of space. I think of it as, you're underwater.
Straight
right?
up.
And you're not at the lowest depth of the ocean. You're not at the top.
Yeah.
Right? No, you're just in the middle.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like you should be able to go in every direction and hit something.
Yeah. And I
but I don't think that's how it works.
I don't know if that's how it works. I do know that the way we perceive the straight line like with the diagram, is that right? In a way, yeah. I mean, if you look at the way that satellites keep going past different planets and out towards out past Pluto and shit like that, I guess that is the way to deal with distance. But I don't know if anything is up or down in space. I have no idea. Like if you go underneath the Earth and keep going down, what's underneath there? I have no fucking clue. I don't know. I don't know if there's another planet underneath our planet. If there's more space underneath, I have no idea.
You mean like a snowman? Like we're like a big
like,
planet on top
say,
of
say you were at the North Pole.
Yeah.
and you drill down through the Earth,
Mhm.
and then you come out the South Pole. So you're at
China. You come out of China.
You come out of China.
Yeah.
You're at the bottom of the Earth.
Yeah.
Now, in your head, you're like, I'm going through the bottom of Antarctica.
Yeah.
But now I'm going down, but somehow also up at the same time. How is that even possible? Like, if the moon is like
You mean like if I was upside down?
just kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Say the moon is facing America.
Yeah.
Like straight up, even though we see it from different parts, but it's facing
Yeah.
America. You'd have to leave Florida to get to the moon. But if you left Antarctica, you'd had to like loop around because you were at the bottom of the planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But say you
You have to make a U-turn to
you'd
get
have,
to the moon.
exactly like fuck, we missed it.
Yeah. You have to turn on a jug handle.
I guess that's why we don't see. Yeah, I wonder where like could there ever be a launch from like the North Pole or the South Pole?
I think things can launch from
No,
anywhere on Earth.
know what I mean? Like, would it take longer to get to the moon?
No,
Would
I
it
think
take-
you just like launch at a different time.
launch at a different time.
Yeah, because there's at some point the moon's going to be facing you wherever you are.
Straight up,
So
I get that.
You can leave when the moon.
But that
is
means that
facing
the
you.
moon's got to kind of go up and down. I don't know.
Dude,
See, this is
this
stuff
is
I'm
where
talking.
we need to
this
be.
Is, no. This is the stuff I'm
perfect.
talking about.
This is perfect.
This
is a perfect level of intelligence.
so-
we're so curious,
Sidney.
and we're coming up with theories.
So here's the thing. Childlike wonder, for me, gives way to adult frustration. Childlike wonder has been dashed now
yeah,
by adult frustration. Because in my head, there's things I'm like, I should just know this.
but you could
like,
be,
I should just know
you
this
could
now.
be right. You could be wrong. You could be
Sure.
right. But the way your life is structured, it will never matter.
That's the whole thing is like, I want it to matter. Though.
Nah, man, you don't
That's
want this
what
to
I
matter.
want.
You want whether or not there's an up or down in space to
Yeah,
matter
dude, that
to
would
you
be
right now.
fucking sick to know.
Man, dude, every single time that matters to somebody, they're in a serious problem.
Yeah, I know. They're fucking probably crazy. But
Yeah, or I'm just like, I'm just thinking about the Starship Enterprise.
Sure.
Whether or not space is up and down matters to them. They're always in trouble. That the Spaceship Enterprise is always
They're always
about to fall apart. It's getting fired on.
Yeah.
It's like all sorts of problems, man.
Dude, I would take it. I would just be like, my whole thing is when I say I'm smart enough to know things, I'm also living in like a delusion of grandeur too. That I'm smart enough to know everything, but I'm also smart enough to like not be bummed out, but like not be crippled by it.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want to be so dumb that I'm like, I don't care. I'd rather be smart enough to be like, not only do I know this, I'm not like worried about it because I know the answer.
I don't want to be one of those because a lot of scientists, like part of their biography reads, and that was a problem that plagued him until his death.
Sure, yeah.
I don't need.
That's the whole thing is I want to be smart enough not to be plagued by the problems.
Yeah, but the smartest people on Earth are plagued to death.
I'm talking about even being like at least a little bit beyond them.
Yeah.
I'm not like, again, this comes down to like me again having like a delusion of like, not only will I be smart, I'll be smart enough to like circumvent my feelings of dread or depression.
Okay.
I'm talking about like, do I know how the universe works? Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I bummed out that now I know? No, I'm not like even crippled by the idea of the crushing thing that like even sometimes like I'll tell you, I'll be like thinking about like, oh, space is crazy. And then I get into this thing like there is nothing that contains space. Or if there is, what does? And if there is, and what does it? If it is that contained in another thing? Is it contained in with another thing? Like my brain goes to all these things where like I start freaking myself out.
Okay.
And then if I knew, I'd be like, at least you don't have to think about that. Don't fucking worry about that.
So let me get into more examples of how I might possibly be at the perfect level of money. I don't have money. I don't have no money. And I'm raising kids in that.
Yeah, you're
zone.
doing amazing. Keep in mind, you are doing amazing as when it comes down to like the American working class.
Yeah.
You're crushing it.
Oh yeah, my kids eat every day.
That's amazing.
It's pretty crazy.
They have clothes.
It's
wild.
I didn't buy most of them. We didn't buy most of them. Were hand me down.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but again, I don't have so much money that hand me downs are insulting.
Yeah,
and I don't have so little money that hand me downs are embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
Do you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
I have just enough money that hand me downs are like, let's fucking go.
Check this shit out.
Here we go.
That's cool.
These clothes they've been in your basement and not washed for years. Let's fucking
They smell
go.
like old books. Fuck yeah.
So, So my kids are calibrated for the level of money that we have, the level of money that we've been able to, like the level of experiences that we have been able to give them match the level of experiences that kind of like raise their adrenaline.
Sure.
Right? Like it all kind of matches. So down in Florida, and we're going to be in and around Orlando. Orlando was the arena where Ainsley was competing in.
Gotcha.
And of course you're in Orlando, so what are you going to do? Orlando, Florida.
Sure.
Where are you going to go?
You go to Disney World.
Disney World is the thing to do.
You have to
right?
do it, I guess.
It's almost a prerequisite. But we don't have spontaneous Disney World money. Keep in mind, this was an unplanned trip for the most part. So now we would have to start shelling out for Disney World all of a sudden. We didn't go to Disney World. We went to Gatorland.
Yeah. All right. I can get behind that. That's more. Here's the thing. In my head,
you're speaking my language. Go ahead. Go ahead.
In my
head,
head,
make my point for me.
That's way more entertaining.
Okay.
But also, you're dealing with real animals. Things are real at Gatorland. You know what's not real in Disneyland? Nothing. Nothing's real in Disney World. And I understand the idea of escapism. But if someone's like, yo, you can go to Disney World and be there. It'd be fun to go, when Rainy goes and it's goofy because you're with a bunch of people and you're just goofing around. But if I went with my family, we got to do this, and that, I'd be like, this is fucking.
So that's the beautiful thing about being dumb and poor.
Sure.
Right? Is that we get to say things like, nah, I mean, I like things that are real. I need it to be. I need real experience.
Dude.
All that fake Disney World bullshit. Not for me. I need real. Gators.
But that's also that's also how poor people get mad about shit. They're like, fuck that. I don't even need it, dude.
Yeah.
I don't even want it, dude.
Yeah.
But I look,
because if you this is how poor going to Gatorland is. Florida, the state of Florida, is Gatorland.
Straight up. You probably, but with Gatorland, you get the added. There's probably more gators that you can see.
Dude, not only is there more gators that you could probably see going to anywhere else in Florida, there are more gators than should be at Gatorland
That's sick.
There is. So I was expecting to see a lot of gators.
Of course, it's Gatorland.
It's Gatorland.
It's Gatorland.
Right? Dude, once you get into Gatorland,
Gator
because first of all, you're doing that thing where it's like, you can't afford Disney, so you're going to Gatorland. So you're already recalibrating your brain. Gatorland's probably going to be more real anyway. The people that are going to be in Gatorland are probably going to be the people that I would more want to be around anyway. Like the people at Disney World are going to be like, the people at Gatorland, those would be the people that I want coming to my shows.
Straight up.
I connect
with these
those
people.
Those are my people. You know what I mean? And it was, by the way, it was all people that come to our shows, and it was like everybody that subscribes to our podcast.
Our shows, porism.
Yeah, porism. Dude, porism is the way to go, man.
Affordable shows.
Yeah, June 21st at Soul Joel's.
Yeah, Soul Joel's is porism.
come to watch us do our show.
It's pretty great.
So you get there, and dude, it is a dangerous amount of gators.
Yeah,
it's like there's do you guys have insurance for this?
No.
And then you start wondering. You want to talk about trying to contemplate the inner workings of the vastness of space. I couldn't even comprehend what they did for Gatorland at night. Like when Gatorland closed, was there
I think they just let the gators run around, dude.
But here's the thing. And this is going to sound retarded. I know this is.
They have those gators fucked up on Ritalin. They are
dude,
riddleized gators,
They're
dude.
definitely Gatorall.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking-
they have Gatorall because okay, so here's my question. Florida is also kind of like the hotbed for the buying and selling of exotic animals.
Sure.
Gators are a hot ticket as far as exotic animals are concerned.
And that's, yeah, sure. All right.
Right? Now, you can go into the swamps of Florida and hunt gators. But there's a place called Gatorland that has a super high concentration of gators already.
Sure.
So if I'm buying and selling illegal gators, I'm heisting from Gatorland.
You're going to gator heist?
Dude, there's so many. It's so much
They're
easier.
not going to miss these gators.
You know what I'm saying? Not going to miss them. And it's a guarantee. You hunt gators, you might
So
not
how
find
would
a
you
gator.
how would you steal a gator from Gatorland? What would be the first way you would go to steal the
Okay,
gator?
so first of all, there's no roof to Gatorland. It's a park,
Sure.
right? So you could airdrop.
You're going to get a big enough drone to pick up a gator?
Yeah, gator drone.
Take it
Get
out?
a little one. Get little ones.
You think
grow them?
Oh, you're talking about the baby gators.
I mean, it's an option. It's an option. It depends on. I mean, baby gators probably sell for much more. You get to have them a lot longer.
Sure.
Right?
I guess so.
So when we're talking big money,
I guess they are in the.
we throwing out them little gators.
Much like human trafficking, big money's always in the kids.
It's always in the
It's
kids.
always in the kids. It doesn't matter what species it is. The babies are worth the most money.
Dude, it's supreme. That's what. Yeah,
It's wild.
Yeah, they weren't called beanie adults.
Yeah. Nobody wants an adult beanie baby.
No.
Ew.
Get that fucking midlife beanie out of here.
Yeah, nobody wants that. But yeah, I guess you could get a drone. You could get the little baby gators out of there.
Yeah, you got to get a baby gator.
You got to get a baby gator. I guess my biggest thing with gator heisting is, keeping it. Like, where am I going to store this gator while I have it? Like, what am I going to do with this gator while I'm still waiting to buy it? Unless, I think doing a gator heist, the only way why you do a gator heist is if you went out on a limb and was like, hey, do you want an alligator? And they're like, yeah, I do. It's like, yo, give me half the money now. I'll get you that gator. I don't think anybody gator heists with like, yeah, I'm sitting on all these gators. I got to sell them at a price.
Yeah, I think there's a super high, from what I understand, there's a super high demand for exotic animals.
Yeah, sure.
And gators are up there.
But I would you own an alligator if you could? If you could.
I don't have the money.
Okay. Take the money out.
Dude, I don't have enough money to imagine having enough money to have
A gator. How much could a gator cost? What is the upkeep on a gator?
I feel like you would have to have a lot of reinforcements and stuff in your house.
I would have a swamp with like a fence around.
Like an indoor pool maybe for him to like come inside. You gotta hide him.
like a doggy door for a gator. Oh, the gator's out of here. Fuck.
Yeah, like slithering in a doggy door.
I guess you could. I mean, first off, your garage is a perfect gator.
Yeah, I'm having a free range gator. I don't want to have no cooped up gator.
That's crazy. Definitely build like a little thing for him to come out on the deck.
Yeah,
that would be sick. Being known as the gator guy of Conshohocken would be fucking wild.
Yeah,
dude. Don't go in Gantt's yard.
Yeah. This is the gator block.
Don't go like if they throw a frisbee and you see the gator walking away with a frisbee.
Yeah.
Fuck. That would be sick. I think if I was gonna own any exotic animal, it wouldn't be a reptile.
Oh no!
You
didn't. You moved the goalpost a little bit. You were questioning whether or not I would have a gator.
Yeah.
You didn't say what exotic animal.
What exotic animal would you have?
Some sort of primate.
What kind of primate?
I don't know. I always go between like those little ones that never get big enough to like rip your face off.
Oh, you mean the little eye guys?
Yeah. Like a capuchin or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that. Something with big eyes.
The big nocturnal bastards.
Yeah.
With the fucking hands. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you mean? Oh, yeah. The eye. The Madagascar eyes.
Sick looking things. They're fucking awesome. Those little guys that jump around, they don't even look real.
I definitely want something jumping around not looking real.
Yeah, that's what you want. I'd want like 4 or 5 of them.
Okay.
That would be sick.
So they can all stand on each other's shoulders and make one big primate.
I'd actually get them a trench coat and try to make them go buy something somewhere. Like, yo, stack it up and go get me some fucking coffee.
And stack these monkeys.
I just want to see if they can. I'm not going to make them buy something illegal. I just want to see if they can walk down the street and do a fucking task.
Let me just tell you, what you just said, beautiful imagery. Somebody smarter than you would never even conceive of what you just
smart
said.
person would figure out how to train those eyes to do it. And they'd figure out the best way, the proper places to go. Like a stacked eyes can't go into a Costco. They're immediately not going to be able, they're going to be like, what is this?
You think
This
a smart
is crazy.
person is going to train 5 capuchins to stand on each other's shoulder and go to the corner store and buy cigarettes?
Yes.
You need first of all, you need a combination of smart and us, right?
That's what
Yeah, but you would have to also sneak. You'd have to get somebody to get the training started, and then you would have to sneak in late at night and kind of like alter their training program to buy cigarettes. Like,
sure, I would train.
They're not going to train They're not going to train the monkey to just stand on each other's shoulders and buy cigarettes.
I got to teach them how to walk in a fluid motion.
Yeah,
I got to teach them how to understand currency. I'd actually give them my debit card so they could just tap. They always have to teach them how to like look normal in a corner. Oh, I know.
Store. You got to teach them how to say things like, "Yo, man, what it do?" And then if like somebody asks the monkeys like, "How you doing?" and the monkey's gotta be like, "I can't call it."
I would honestly teach them just how to refer to whether it be hot, cold, or rainy. So if they went in, they're like, "Damn, it's hot."
Yeah.
Just that. It'd be like, "Damn, it's hot." Pack of Campbell Blues. "Damn, it's cold." Pack of Campbell Blues. "Man, it's rainy." Pack of Campbell Blues. Or another thing that would be great to teach a monkey is just, you believe this fucking guy? Just that phrase walking into any convenience store is just like, I can't believe this fucking guy.
Yeah.
Just
that's all he has the 2 responses you need. If that's going to be your first response, can you believe this fucking guy? Any follow-up question you can answer with,
yeah, you know what the fuck I mean.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't even really want to get into it anymore.
Yeah, and or just pick like a current thing that is a current event that means nothing to anybody. Mm-hmm. Like, be like, if you're like, man, my fucking Wi-Fi. Like, just like that.
Yeah,
just fucking
yeah.
believe it. Why? Like, my fucking phone. Just something dumb like that to teach one of those eyes to kind of say would be fucking amazing.
Yeah. I saw some people that were dumber than me in Gatorland.
Of course.
Having more fun than me.
Yeah, of course they are.
And instantly I was jealous.
Look, I guess my whole thing is to be so smart that I understand danger. I responsibly react to danger, but I also am smart enough to jump the shark into knowing how to do a dangerous thing to get around the danger.
Yeah.
I think that's what, like, when people are like, "Oh, if you were smart, you wouldn't be happy." I'm like, no, I'm trying to like complete the circle. Like I'm going from dumb to smart, and then where it's like, yo, man, that would kind of suck. But then I'm like, no, I figured it out. So now I'm back to like, I'm
yeah.
You know,
so
that's the way I'm looking at it.
There was a Gator show down there, and these 2 guys, a black guy and a white guy. It was basically me and you. It was basically us, and there were these the characters were these country bumpkin characters, and you had to pick a team. You were either team white guy or team black guy, right? And they were trying to they had like raw chickens on like a zip line that they would like they would like move out above the gators,
of course.
and the gators would like jump up and grab
yeah.
the chicken. So they were trying to see which one had their chicken grabbed first. So they would like make people like, who's on my team, and then everybody would clap to be on that team, and who's on his team, and then everybody would clap. And they were doing like little jokes and stuff the whole entire time.
Sure.
And they're like, oh, then the white guy's like, oh, I think I see somebody I want to be on my team. Her right there. And it was this lady, big tits, cleavage out. And it's like, so in order for you to be on my team, the first thing you got to do is give me your phone number. You know,
Class.
And it was a lot of that. It was a lot of like, you know, and then y'all come over there so you can give me a kiss on the cheek. You know, it was a lot of that.
Yeah.
And like every
Southern
time hospitality, right? And every time they were making these jokes, like there were like different pockets of the crowd like laughing at these jokes that they were making. They were the dumb people having a good time. And then me, somebody who makes jokes for a living, was watching them make their jokes going, I think this is actually getting into the sexual harassment realm.
Yeah, it's no, yeah. I think so. My whole thing is sexual harassment. There is a border, in America, and then when you go deeper south, there's like it definitely exists, but then it gets like crunched down into like they don't know no better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They were definitely crossing the line.
And I don't think either of those guys had like ill intention.
No, for sure.
They were not like, I'm trying to subjugate these women.
I'm not. No, to me, I'm not judging the guys.
No,
I'm judging myself. Like the fact that I was even considering whether or not that could be sexual harassment, that was my higher self.
Nah.
And then there was another part of me like, shut up, gay dude.
Yeah, but I think I would have been like, yeah, this is just I've been like, yo, as the Romans do. My brain would have been like,
well, you know what the Romans did with the kids and all.
I know. Believe me, it's like, look, would I participate? No. Am I gonna go, yo, big titted bitch, give me your number? But I'm not gonna be like, hey, buddy. I'm gonna be like, that guy's got it. He's got what he's doing. Until if she was like, oh, I'm uncomfortable, I'll be like, you did come to Gatorland. My whole thing's like, you knew there were gators of both species in here.
Yeah.
You knew that coming into here. What did you think? You thought you were going to get like a guy being like, hey, young man, I think you're very beautiful, and honestly, no disrespect whatsoever. I just think that if you were on my team, maybe we could get together afterwards. Not, yo, big titted bitch, give me your number. Yeah. I think that would definitely not.
So if I told you Gatorland is about the size of like Sesame Place.
Sick.
Right? How many gators do you think they would have?
Well, let's see. Sesame Place, pretty big. Not gigantic, but pretty big.
It's actually smaller than that. You ever go to Christmas Village?
Yeah.
It's about that size.
Really?
Yes. It's facility wise, it's not that big.
I think the last time I was at Sesame Place, I was like 6.
Okay.
So I guess it was bigger in my brain.
Gotcha.
So size of Sesame Place, how many I would say you could easily fit 4,000 gators in there. 4,000 easy.
Okay.
More than that.
So Gatorland is home to over 2,000 American alligators.
That's close.
And my guy, that's
a lot of gators.
Dude, any one section where there were gators seemed like they had too many gators there.
Yeah. I think, to tell you the truth, even if I saw one alligator in my life, I'd be like, yo, that's too many fucking gators.
Yeah.
I think I'd be like, yeah, I don't know if I can get in there. That's too many fucking primordial reptiles that have no sense of feeling or empathy towards anything else other than killing and eating.
Yeah, so Gatorland, they're saying, is 110 acres. Preserve located in Florida. It is home to over 3,000 alligators and crocodiles, along with other wild.
All right, I was closer.
It's but like I think they're talking about like the land around the outside of the fence of Gatorland. They own that stuff too.
Oh, cool.
So the Gatorland, like the actual park, is not 110 acres. It's small. And
but the whole land around,
the whole land,
the whole
yeah.
prop,
yeah, they're cooking the books.
Definitely. I was gonna say that sounds a little felonious, but
squeeze it gets girthier.
Yeah, we've got more gators than you fucking think, man.
Yeah. So, you familiar with? I almost said chupacabras. You familiar with capybaras?
Yeah, capybara.
Okay. So they had a capybara experience down there.
Experience?
Yeah, you go and hang out with capybaras. And do you know much about capybaras?
I don't know.
Dude, they're really peaceful creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just hang out. We can pet them.
Let me get this straight. They have gators, prehistoric reptiles that outlived the dinosaurs, with only 2 modes in their brain: eat and sleep, possibly fucking lay eggs, and then docile capybaras in the same. That sounds like a recipe for disaster,
dude. Capybaras are so laid back that all of the animals of the swamp chill with them.
That's wild.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure gators do eat them.
Yeah.
But like not right away. They kick it with them first. Like they just kick it with
You
capybara.
think the kid's like, yo, it's a shame, dude.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to eat you soon. That sucks.
And the capybara is like, yeah, you are who you are.
You know what? I can't change evolution, dog.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
But they have the capybaras in like a isolated area,
Sure,
like where the capybaras are. But you don't get to just go over to where the capybaras are. You have to pay for the capybara experience.
How much is it for the capybara?
It was like $12 a piece.
That's pretty good. That's not a bad
this
price
is porism
experience.
at its peak.
That's a good price experience.
Right?
$12.
So we go, because we went and watched that Gator show first, we weren't in line for the capybara experience right away. We should have went there, got straight in line for the capybara experience,
then come back,
then go back and catch the next show time. But we watched that show, and then the line got so long that they sold out a ticket for the capybara experience.
What?
But we stayed in line.
Sure.
You never know.
Someone could drop out.
Somebody could drop out. We finally get up to the front of the line. People are like walking away as we're like getting close. Yeah. People are walking away like pissed. Like people are upset. We're the second to next family in line. This lady is up there with her shitty little kids, and she starts freaking out, right? Because somebody was coming back to tell us that they're pretty much sold out of capybara experiences, but maybe if we stay in line, they might have a slot left open, right? Man. And the last time that me and the lady in front of us heard anything about that was like 15 minutes. It was like 15 minutes ago since we got that announcement last. So we get up there, and she's like, well, the lady told us that there was probably going to be some, and she's like, well, there's nothing I can do for you, and she starts yelling at this lady.
Fuck off.
Right? She's freaking out at this lady, and Ansley's, she's like, should we just go? And I'm like, no. Let's hope that she keeps crashing out, and let's see if we can play off that. Yeah. Right? So this lady finally throws her hands up and leaves. Threatens to leave the entire Gatorland.
No.
And it's like, do you know what I mean? Like, she's like, please don't go.
Yeah, get the
what would we do without you and your little fat kids? It's nobody cared. Nobody cared. So they left. And as they were about to leave, I told my twin, like, they're wearing hats down there, So I told them, pull up the brim of the hats, tilt that chin up, and let her see your beautiful eyes. Yeah. Right? Little girl, wide eyes.
Twin eyes.
4 eyes.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah. And I go up to the lady and I go, I'm about to ask you a very annoying question. Right, because you go to this lady you go to this booth to buy all the other experiences that are add-ons.
What are the other experiences?
So there's a bird, an aviary that you can go into. We did that as well. We did not get shit on. Like, thankfully, we did not get shit on.
Birds are fucking wild.
But you go in with like these popsicle sticks that are covered in bird seed. Yeah. And you hold it up, and the birds just fly to it, right? Yeah. And you can hold it wherever you want to hold it, and birds will fly to it. So you can put it.
You know how many people were fucking doing
that? Yeah.
I already know, dude.
Yeah, a lot of people were putting them like in their hats or behind their ears.
That's
and stuff.
So wild.
I put mine in my ass.
Yeah, I was gonna say. What? I can't do this here at Gatorland?
Yeah, I put mine on my bird.
Yeah, it's like, look, I'm just having a fun experience. I paid my $12.
So we get up there, and I'm like, I'm going to ask you a very annoying question. Is there any way you can get us into the capybara experience? And she looks at my daughters, looks back at me, and she goes, she like leans over and whispers, let me see what I can do. And then she goes and makes a phone call. And
call the
president. It was a red phone.
Let me see.
It was like,
I've got beautiful twins here. What are you talking about? There's a special capybara experience phone.
Mr. President, I think the chosen ones have arrived.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, so she made a phone call, and she got them to add another family to a time slot.
Crazy.
Like, they found the time slot where they only had like the smallest amount of people. They added a family of 5 to that. Jeez. Like, keep in mind, this lady, it was three. It was her and 2 kids.
You know what?
But she crashed out She mouthed her way out of a capybara
What a
experience.
fucking moron. All you have to do is be like, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
You do not have to flip. It's so fucking crazy. It's wild that people do that.
Yeah.
Especially at Gatorland.
Gatorland.
At Gatorland. Look, I don't know what you're supposed to expect when you go to Gatorland, but if I went into a place that was the size of Sesame Place with 3,000 alligators, I wouldn't be like, you know what? These guys are tighter than a drum. I'd be like, you know what? This might just be a death trap. I'm going to expect. If I walk out of here on my own 2 legs, I win. That was a successful Gatorland trip.
And it's like, do you really think you can intimidate the workers?
Yes, at Gatorland?
To doing what you want them to do?
Fuck you. That is insane.
They're surrounded by vicious murderers at all time.
Exactly.
And you think you're going to intimidate them?
Cold-blooded thunder lizards.
Dude,
fuck
crazy.
you, dude. You really think they give a fuck? That's a crazy thing to be like, yo, you dumb bitch. It's like, I guarantee she's just like, I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
I don't care anything. I'm leaving at 5.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to my house, and I'm going to watch Swamp Gas that I think is a fucking rocket going off. Yeah. I got a whole thing tonight.
Yeah, and this isn't Target.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, the customer isn't always right at Gatorland.
First of all, the customer's barely ever right anywhere.
Yeah.
Especially wrong in Gatorland.
Dude, customer's always wrong in Gatorland.
I think that should be on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Gatorland. The customer's always wrong.
You're never right here. Yeah. It's Gatorland.
It's Gatorland.
Or just, what did you think? It's Gatorland.
Yeah.
What the fuck were you thinking? Dude, it's Gatorland.
It's basically like uncharted waters.
Yeah.
Or what do they call it? International
waters. Yeah.
None of the laws
dude,
of the state of Florida apply in Gatorland.
It's like Vatican City. Only with reptiles. Dude.
It for sure is.
You can't. That's the whole thing. Like, I went there. I wouldn't be like, this is so fucking bullshit that I have to wait. I'd be like, dude, what did you think? You literally stepped into a fucking zoo from a different time period.
Yeah,
I
just watched 2 dudes in overalls and straw hats sexual harass a crowd for 20 straight minutes.
You really think they're going to get it? You think they care? They don't care.
Come on.
It's Gatorland.
Keep it moving, lady.
Shut the fuck up. And that's the whole thing. It's like in my head, I would be like, yo, I'm smart enough to try and stop this woman's heart with my mind. That's what I'd be like, yo, I'm just going to focus. I'm going to be so hyper intelligent that I would just make her drop dead. And then she'd fall in a gator pit.
Yeah. Dude, when we finally got to the Capybara experience, because we ended up leaving and coming back.
Okay.
Because here's another beautiful thing about Gatorland. When you buy your ticket to Gatorland, it's all day. You can leave and come back.
Wow, that's what's up.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
Porism,
I
baby.
like that.
Come on.
I like it. Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. That's great.
And that's perfect because you can like leave and be like, man, you know what? I probably let's go back.
I think I want to see more gators.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually didn't see enough alligators. Yeah. I need to see 5,000 more of them.
Yeah, I want to go back and see if I can like start to notice the difference in the gator's personality.
Yeah, I want to find my gator.
Yeah. I want to see if I can tell which gator is racist.
Yeah, I want to find the. Oh, you know which gator is racist. We call that one Big Jim. Don't go near him. He's got a problem with a lot of people of color. We've tried to correct him. He don't play that shit.
And please don't get him started on Israel and or Palestine.
I'll tell you what.
It won't be pretty.
He's going to say, fuck them both. I'm not dying for either. He doesn't care. He's got his own problems. All he wants to do is be left alone. But you know what the problem is, he said, is that the school board's overturned a lot of segregation down here, and he doesn't like it. It's crazy. Jim's been around. Keep in mind, you're like, that was a long time. Jim is 78 years old. He's a very old. Reptiles live a very long time.
He's the youngest gator we got. So we go home. We recharge. We go back to our hotel. We recharge. Come back. Actually, Airbnb, no big deal. We come back, and the capybara. We hijacked a capybara experience. It was like this one lady with her daughter, and they like squeezed us into her slot. Dude, there was 2 capybaras in there that we could like pet and feed and stuff. And between the 5 of us, we dominated that 15-minute slot.
Straight up.
Like the mom and the kid that were there that had the time before us barely got to feed and touch a capybara. Dude, we were like surfing on the capybaras. We were like taking pictures with them and stuff. And we dominated the capybara experience.
That's wild. So wait, how long is it? It's 15 minutes?
Yeah, about 50. You get 15 minutes.
Whatever, with whatever you want.
Whatever you want to do.
15 minutes, whatever you want with a capybara.
Yeah, we bought like leather mask.
I was gonna say they throw you some Vaseline. Like, now watch what you do down there. Oh wait, this is a family. My bad. We have different capybaras for different things.
Yeah, one of the capybaras was a dominatrix. The other one was a submissive.
We have very slutty capybaras down here.
Dude, their fur feels like a broom.
Yeah, it's very coarse.
Very coarse.
Yeah,
almost like hay.
Tufts.
Yeah.
Tufts.
That was crazy.
What did you expect it to feel like? It's a borderline jungle pig. What did you expect a capybara?
Borderline jungle
What did
pig.
you expect a capybara to feel like? A silky smooth golden retriever?
Borderline jungle pig is for sure the name of the episode.
Borderline jungle pig, dude.
I that's my favorite new phrase. A borderline jungle pig. Man,
It's a jungle pig, dude.
I can't tell you how many borderline jungle pigs got me through college. You know how many times a borderline jungle pig has ended a drought for me?
Yeah. I'm on the proud tonight for just a borderline jungle pig, dude.
They mostly come to you.
Yeah.
Very easy to hunt.
And I get 15 minutes. I can do whatever I want.
Whatever you want. They don't complain about anything.
You just feed them a little bit, and then boom.
They are the chillest in the jungle. They are down for whatever.
Dude, they don't even care if they die. It's wild. Dude. These borderline jungle pigs are my thing. I'm all about them jungle pigs. Yeah, dude. I think you had the greatest time you could get. You maximized all of your time with the capybara. That's great.
Yeah, because my kids are dumb and poor. It was the best time that we could possibly have.
Look, I'm not saying it wasn't a good time, and I'm not saying you being dumb or poor has anything. I think that's another thing. I guess I'm too dumb to acknowledge that being dumb and poor negates, or being hyper intelligence negates fun. I don't think it does. I think it's just a different thing. I think that's all. I think if you were dumb with money, you'd be still having the same good time with the capybaras.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I don't know, man.
I think you would.
I don't know.
Would. If you had enough money and were dumb, you'd still be looking at the same swamp gas, but just closer. You know what I mean? You'd be like, that's an amazing rocket launch. You're like, that's the sky, dumbass.
Yeah.
That's the sunset. You're actually seeing cars on the overpass.
We're friends with a family that's like, like smart and has money.
Yeah.
And their experiences in similar locations to us sound way better. But it's also like they're the ones that told us about the app to see all the rocket launches and like, hey, if you're going to be down here, you're going to be next to Cape Canaveral. And we're like, what? Like, we thought Cape Canaveral was like on another country.
Keep in mind, I also thought that.
You know what I mean? Like, that's like, really?
I'd be like, where's the I don't even know what a cape is.
I have no clue.
Tell me what a cape is.
No clue.
No clue what a cape is. Is it like a peninsula? Is there a bay?
Yeah. Is it an archipelago?
I don't
No clue.
You know the hair on an archipelago is actually very it's actually pretty
Do you know why an archipelago stands on one leg?
I do not. You could tell me that
because if it lifted them both, it'd fall.
I think we did it. We definitely declared war on intelligence, without a doubt. I'm pro getting smarter with the limitless pill.
I'm pro getting dumber.
I'm not saying getting dumber can't be good. I'm just saying I think it would be sweet to be fucking super intelligent to build all the things I want. I think that's really what it comes down to, is like the level of practicality with intelligence to figure out to make my life less frustrating.
And I think it'd be even sweeter to be dumb enough to believe that you want all the things you have. That's the ticket, my friend.
Touche, dude. You nailed it. God damn it. Well, that was a fantastic episode.
That was a good time.
It was.
That was a good time.
I'm glad everyone was along on this journey with us, and I'm sorry if I sounded like a crazy asshole talking about fucking pyramids. There was one time I was talking about pyramids on another podcast, and people were like, "Shut up with the pyramid shit." I was like, fucking like, dude, don't get me wound up on you. Asked, where do you stand on pyramids? You made that.
Well, you notice I try to stay out of. I'm also. We have a rule in the house. Like I'm not allowed to talk about pyramids, and I'm not allowed to talk about ancient advanced civilizations, and I'm not allowed to talk about aliens unless somebody else brings it up.
Oh wow, you're like Beetlejuice.
Pyramids. You say
it's showtime.
Yeah, you say pyramids 3 times. That's when I come to play. That's my time to shine.
I get it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, are we plugging the show at Soul Drills on the 21st?
We got to get people come on out. Oh wait. So let's close this out.
Okay.
Peace.
Thank you for joining us on World War Fun. It was an amazing time, and I'm glad everyone was along on this journey. And I hope, honestly, everyone gets what they want out of life, whether they're fucking retarded or intelligent. And I just hope that if you want to be more smart, go get more smart.
You want to be more smart, go get more smart.
And if you want to continue to be retarded, stay that fucking way. Who cares?
Yeah, let's go.
God damn it. All right. Yeah. That's Thank you for joining us here on World War Fun. I've been Ryan Shanner. This is Sidney Gantt. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.